The gun was already in the sheriff's hand before the wagon stopped rolling. Dust still hung in the air. The whole platform of Red Hollow went quiet, watching the door of the train, waiting. Then it opened, and a woman stepped down alone, one small bag in her fist, and the crowd let out a breath they had all been holding. She should have looked afraid. A woman traveling alone into wild country, 100 strangers staring, a rancher waiting to marry her sight unseen. Instead, she looked each person straight in the eye, one by one, slow and unashamed, like she was daring someone to speak first. Nobody did. Then she did something nobody expected. She walked past Thomas Reed, the man who had written her every letter, the man who had come to marry her, and knelt down in the dust to pick up a little girl's dropped doll. "Careful now," she said, brushing it clean with her sleeve. "Don't want to lose this one." The girl's mother stared. The men near the fence stared harder. A few women covered their mouths to hide their laughing, for who kneels in the dirt in a traveling dress, on the very day she meets her husband? Only then did Sarah Vance stand and turn to Thomas, hand out, calm as still water. "You must be Thomas," she said. "Sorry to keep you waiting. Some things matter more than looking proper." Thomas laughed, surprised, and took her hand. The crowd began to smile too, won over already, whispering that this new bride had spirit, had heart, was not like other city women. But near the station wall, one man did not smile. He stood in the shadow, hat pulled low, and watched her face the way a wolf watches a fire, careful, patient, never blinking. When Sarah's eyes swept past him, her hand went still inside Thomas's grip. Just for a second. Then she smiled again, bright as before, and let Thomas lead her to the wagon, as if she had felt nothing at all. The rope creaked as Thomas hauled the last fence post into place, and for one whole month, nothing in Red Hollow felt wrong at all. Sarah learned the ranch fast. She fed the chickens without being told twice. She burned the bread only once, then never again. She sang while she worked, low and soft, songs nobody in town knew, and Thomas would stop whatever he was doing just to listen through the window. "Where'd you learn that one?" he asked her once. "Somewhere far from here," she said, and kept scrubbing the pot and did not look up. He let it go. A new wife was allowed her small mysteries. But then came the nights. He would wake to find her side of the bed cold and empty, and he would find her at the window instead, sitting stiff as a fence post, staring out at nothing, her hands wound so tight together the knuckles went white. "Sarah," he would say, "come back to bed." In a moment, she always answered, "Never sooner." One night he asked her straight out, "What is it you're watching for?" She turned to him, and for 1/2 of 1 second, something moved behind her eyes quick, like a fish under dark water, gone before he could name it. "Nothing," she said, and smiled the same smile from the train platform. "Just an old habit. Can't sleep with a window uncovered." He believed her because he wanted to. Then a stranger rode into town who did not stop at the saloon like other men did. He walked straight to the sheriff's office, boots loud on the wood floor, and asked one question in a voice flat as a closed door. "You got a Sarah Vance here, dark hair, come in on the train some weeks back." Sheriff Walt looked up slow. "Got a Sarah Reed now, married the rancher, why?" The stranger's face gave nothing away. "No reason, old friend." He walked out unhurried, past the church, past the store, down the long road toward the ranch, like a man who had already waited long enough to know exactly how much longer he could wait. Flour dusted the air like snow when the knock came, 3 hard raps that made Sarah's hands go still over the bowl. Thomas was out past the barn, hammer ringing against a fence post. Sarah wiped her palms on her apron and opened the door, already smiling the smile she gave to strangers. The smile did not last. A man stood on the step, hat low, eyes flat and cold as creek water in winter. She knew him before he said one word. Her whole body went stiff, like a rabbit that has just seen the hawk's shadow cross the grass. "Hello, Sarah," he said. "Or should I use your old name?" "You should not have come here," she whispered. 2 years, he said. 2 years I waited, while you ran from town to town wearing some new name like a new dress. Did you think I'd forget my own brother?" "Please," she said, "not here." "You left him bleeding on the floor in Dodge City," the man said, his voice shaking now, low and rough. "Took the money, took the gun, walked out and never looked back. He trusted you, Sarah. He's dead because he trusted you." Tears filled her eyes. "It wasn't meant to happen that way. I never meant for him to." "Save it," he cut in. "I didn't ride all this way for stories." That was when Thomas came around the corner, hammer still in hand, and stopped cold. He saw the stranger. He saw his wife's face, whiter than the flour on her hands. "Sarah, what is this?" The stranger turned to him, smiling now, cruel and slow. "Ask your wife her real name. Ask her about Dodge City. Ask her about my brother and the money she stole and the men still hunting her right now." Thomas looked at his wife. "Is this true?" Sarah opened her mouth. No words came. Her silence answered for her. "I was young," she finally said, voice breaking apart. "Scared, foolish. I made a mistake that cost a man his life, and I have carried it every single day since. I lied because I was so tired of running, and just once I wanted to be happy." The stranger's hand drifted slowly toward his belt. Thomas saw the hand move toward the belt and did not think. He just moved, stepping in front of Sarah so fast the hammer nearly fell from his grip. "This is my land," he said, his voice shaking but firm. "Whatever she's done, whatever happened before I knew her, you will not spill blood on it today." "Move aside," the stranger warned, his hand still hovering, still ready. "No," Thomas said. Nobody breathed. The wind moved soft through the wheat behind them. Somewhere far off, a bird called once and went quiet. Sarah stood behind Thomas, shaking, her hand pressed hard against her mouth to keep from crying out. Then slow, the stranger let his hand fall away from his belt. "You're a fool, Thomas Reed," he said, "loving a woman like this." "Maybe," Thomas answered, "but that's my choice to make, not yours." The stranger looked past Thomas, straight at Sarah one last time. "This isn't finished. The men hunting you will find you, whether I bring them myself or not. Running only buys so much time." He turned and walked back down the road, unhurried, until the setting sun swallowed his shape whole and he was gone. That night, Thomas and Sarah sat together on the porch, saying nothing for a long while. Stars came out one by one above the dark fields. "I don't know if I trust you the way I did yesterday," Thomas finally said. "But I don't want you gone either. I don't know what that makes us now." "I'd understand if you asked me to leave," Sarah said softly. "I'm not asking that," he said. "I'm asking for the truth, all of it. No more secrets, Sarah. If we're to have any life together, it has to stand on something real." So she told him everything, the poor town where she grew up, the man who led her into crime, the night in Dodge City that went wrong, 2 years of running under different names, always waiting for the past to catch her. When she finished, Thomas took her hand. "That's not the woman I fell for," he said quietly. "But maybe it made her. I choose to stay, I choose you."